Massive changes to EPCs are coming in 2025, but what does it mean? How's it going to impact you, and what's it going to cost you? That's exactly what I'm going to be covering in today's video. Hi, my name is Mark Lloyd. I'm co-founder of Property Master Academy, and I've been a property investor since 2005. So what is an EPC? Well, it stands for Energy Performance Certificate, and what it shows is not only the square footage or square meterage of the property, which is obviously helpful, but its prime purpose is to show the energy efficiency of a property. And this is based on its ability to warm up and how much energy it keeps within the property. EPCs were brought in some time ago as a government initiative to help reduce the country's carbon footprint and ultimately climate change. Now, the problem with EPCs is that not much thought was given into the type of housing stock held in the UK, because almost a third of the property market is impacted by this, and it's a legal requirement that all properties being sold or rented must have an EPC. Now, an EPC has a grading system depending on how energy efficient the building is, with A being the most efficient and F being the least. The government brought in a change over the past couple of years which says that if you are renting out a property, then the minimum standard from April 2025 will be a C, and if it's not, the landlord will be obliged to bring that property up to standard. Now, you might think, okay, that's fine. But a recent survey carried out showed that approximately 1/3 of the available rental properties in the UK will not meet the standards. So let me put that into context. There's around 25 to 26 million properties in the UK right now, and 21% are private rentals and 19% are social rentals, in other words, housing associations. So if we ignore the housing associations, as that means there are approximately 5 million private rental properties, and 1/3 of those, that's 1.66 million properties, will be directly impacted by this, with an average cost across the board of £4,000 per property. Now, you might think that doesn't sound too bad, but it soon adds up. But of course, we're lucky it's not an A or a B, which only represents around 2% of the UK with regards to energy performance certificate ratings, so we should count ourselves lucky. Of course, bear in mind, some properties will be affected more than others. The older they are, the more likely they will have a large bill to bring them up to the minimum standard. So all of the old Victorian properties and pre-World War II properties, in fact probably since pre-1960, definitely will not be a C rating. And for some of these, it's predicted to cost just under £10,000 per property to put it right. Now imagine you've got a portfolio of 20 properties. That's going to be £200,000, and the majority of landlords don't have that lying around their back pocket. Not only that, you'd probably need to rehouse the tenants whilst the work is being carried out. So I don't think the government has really thought about the practicalities behind this. This is all due to roll out by 2025 in theory, but if you think about the 1.66 million that are directly going to be impacted by that, that's going to mean that for a majority, at least half of those tenants are going to be kicked out because there's not enough houses for them in the first place. So what's going to happen there? With an average cost at £4,000 per property, what's the reality of a landlord actually implementing it? I don't know, because if you think about the practicalities, or if they don't have the money, does it just become a vacant property? How many landlords are not going to be able to afford that? So I think the commercial reality of this is that the government is going to have to find some way to enforce it. But the question is how? We already know that there are insufficient government and local council staff to enforce the HMO licensing regime, and in some areas the landlord licensing. So how on earth are they going to enforce the EPCs when the numbers are far, far, far greater? And then what about the effect on rents? Will they have to go up? Because the cost will need to come from somewhere. I think the reality is that the government is going to have to come up with either a grant system or interest-free loan to help support this initiative. Now, don't get me wrong, I believe this is a great idea, just poorly thought out about the consequences. So what can you do in the meantime? Well, firstly, you could consider getting an EPC surveyor out now so you can get an idea of what it is likely to cost you to get your property onto a C rating. You can then make a decision as to whether you get the work done or possibly dispose of the property and give that problem to somebody else. Secondly, you could potentially use the EPC rating as a tool to reduce the price you're buying your next property. So that's it really. There's no need to panic just yet about something that we really cannot control. Be pragmatic about it, look at your portfolio and see what needs to be done, and pay more attention to the EPC on your next purchase. Well, that's it for now. If you've enjoyed this video, I hope you have, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. And of course, if you think I've missed anything, please let me know too. EPCs are just one aspect of building a property business. And if you'd like to learn more, then check out the other videos appearing on your screen right now. Also, please hit that like button so more people like you get to see it. And finally, subscribe to our channel so you get notified of other videos as they are posted. Thanks for listening.